All right, this is Phil with Board Game Bike. I'm here on the Utah-Colorado border, and I am.
Hey.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to.
I wanted to use this stuff.
No, it's my turn to use the video equipment.
Yeah, but I think I figured out the juggling thing. I wanna show off the juggling thing. We're at the border, right? This is, where are we? Utah? Is that how you say that? Do people say it like that?
You got it all day yesterday with your toilet flushing thing.
I know I had it yesterday. I just want to use it just one more time. I almost got it. Whoops. Hold on. Oh.
I'm doing a board game thing today.
Okay, fine. You go ahead. Yeah. I'm just gonna practice. Okay. I won't be in the way at all. I'm just gonna practice.
Anyway, this is Phil on the Utah-Colorado border, and I'm here to talk about why you should take turns giving feedback.
Phil, look, I'm doing it! Oh, I almost had it!
Jeez. So at least in my experience before the pandemic, feedback was kind of just like a free-for-all. You just talked whenever you felt like talking, and it was more like a discussion. And there were times where that was fine. But when everything started to move online, we noticed that that was a big problem with Discord. Not so much that like 2 or 3 people couldn't talk at once. I don't think that was really the issue. But the biggest problem with Discord is that you really couldn't tell when someone was done talking. In real life, you can see those subtle clues. You can see my hands are still moving, so I'm probably still continuing a thought. But in Discord, we lost all those things. We couldn't see that stuff. Unfortunately, I do know at least one person who was sort of chased away from playtesting online in those first couple months because they felt like it was really difficult for them to be heard. Thankfully, the culture around that online has changed a lot. Instead of feedback being sort of this kind of like free-for-all, let's open it up to everyone, I'm seeing a lot more designers being like, okay, who wants to start? And so at that point, we'll see Bryn go, and Ashwin go, and Andrea go, and Phil go, and Tim go. So for any group playtesting online, this is basically a requirement. Otherwise, people don't get heard, people get interrupted all the time, and it's very frustrating. What I'm urging you to do is maybe not just limit this to online testing groups. I think having playtesters take turns giving feedback can be really valuable in in-person playtesting too. First of all, I always feel valued when a designer explicitly wants feedback from every single person at the table. I feel like there is something to be said for everyone else at the table acknowledging that it's one person's turn to talk and that their perspective on the game was important enough that everyone should stop and pay attention and listen to just what that one person has to say. This is very different from like a feedback discussion where it's more like a free-for-all, and ideas are definitely getting out there, but there's sort of an element of kind of the loudest person takes over. And I'm not saying they do that on purpose. I just, certain people are more extroverted than others. Certain people are more comfortable leading a discussion or taking part in, sort of a general discussion than other people. And so I think that having a designer go through and specifically ask each person for their feedback, each person gets a stage for a little bit, is a really great way to show everyone at the table that they are valued and that their feedback is important. Another reason I really like this technique is that in a lot of ways, it puts a time limit on feedback. And what I mean by that is, in sort of an ongoing discussion, there's really no beginning or end to those notes. We could be talking about an idea for hours if we really wanted to, if we were really excited about it. If one person has the spotlight at a time, in my experience at least, that tends to limit how long they're going to talk for. This doesn't always work that way, and sometimes you have to impose a time limit on individual feedback. But for the most part, if I'm going through my notes and just kind of hitting the highlights, that's not going to take more than 5 minutes per person, not even. Now, I'm sure that some of you are thinking, well, what if I want to respond to someone? Well, this is where I come back to get a notebook. One of the great things that I've seen other people do during these kind of sessions is when it gets around to their turn, they have notes on other people's feedback. So if you want to really show that you care about every single voice at your table, if you want to have kind of a more professional, orderly work environment, and I think really if you want to get things done faster, you should try taking turns giving feedback. I think this is one of those valuable lessons we can learn from the online playtesting groups and apply it to real life. This is Phil on Board Game Bike. I'm on the Utah-Colorado border. I'm less than 1,000 miles away from San Francisco, and thanks for watching. Peace. guess that some of you probably think this is too structured or maybe even a little lame. Where's the fun in that? And I guess to that I would say, yeah, I mean, this might not be right for every group. There are certainly different casual groups out there that wouldn't want to take this approach, and that's cool. And I'm part of some of those groups, and it's fine, like no big deal. You got it all day yesterday with your toilet flushing thing, so that you could talk about weasels, so that you could show off your collection of toenails, so you could make that video about the 2 dogs that followed you. You got it all day yesterday so that you could eat Jell-O on it.